Okay, great. Basically, I'm logging into the Foundry, IRIS Foundry system, that the one that described by Brian. I will not go into all this functionality now. I'll just concentrate on the Forge and the application store. So because this is a list of applications that are currently existing, not much here. It's a demo platform, but basically we can build more and more applications using this platform. What I'm doing now, I'm starting a new application session, basically, and here I am prompted to enter my requirements. So we'll start with something simple today, and we'll just I will just type in it, create Foundry assets view. Basically, I just want to visualize the assets that we have in Foundry. It's industrial app. It has a lot of it manages basically digital twin of the imagine of the whole plant. It has plant lines, other equipment. So here we have the oil refinery plant as a background digital twin. So we'll start with that. And I want to, starting from business group level, which is the highest level in hierarchy, and down to the sensors. So sensors are the most deep, the elements of this hierarchy tree, which they actually devices that retrieve the data. When a user clicks on an asset, I like to see information of that asset. Information, and then let's say that if asset has any children, just show them, right? Show them as well. As you see, very non-technical requirement that can come like from somebody. If you're a developer working with a business analyst, basically they say, okay, I just want this simple app because we have a digital twin, we have all the data into the system, and we want to visualize it. We want to see what is the digital world represents. So now what happens, the first stage of the generation is to enhance that simple prompt into something that will be looking like a technical requirements. Imagine that you work with a development team with a bunch of developers, like with a lead developer, architect, and you say them that sentence, it's not enough for them, so they have to work on this to come up with the technical requirements of the app, to describe all the nitty-gritty functionalities, what API have to be called, what items have to be retrieved, how to link different items, like you have an asset, you have an alert, what is a common ID between them, what is the field that guides the links between data, how the data is organized, linked together. All that stuff have to be first described before starting development so that we know that we're achieving goal. So now once this phase is done, we are getting the proper requirements. If you see, like it explains what API have to be called, how application is structured, what are the primary, secondary keys on the data sets, what tools to use, and it even describes what is the success criteria of this phase. So if you can get here, like we see, basically, it describes the APIs to call. It says what API need to be done, basically how to link data received from one API to data received from another API, and it describes how the application has to build. So now we'll start the generation, and this is the second phase, basically, of the application building, is the code generation itself. So it opens this the IDE environment, and it starts generating the code. At the same time, it shows on the right all the files that are being generated, and we'll just need to wait some time. It takes usually a couple minutes, a good couple of minutes for an application to generate. It will generate a few dozen files. And you can see here on the right bottom part of the screen, it's a sandbox that has been created for this, waiting for basically code to be ready to start. So now the LLM generates code, puts the file into the sandbox in the background, and the sandbox will basically, once it's done, again, the model itself, I'm like hands off now, will be doing its start, verification, and will show us a preview of the application. Yeah, well, it's entertaining to watch, probably because it takes like 2 to 3 minutes to do. We can maybe look if there are any questions in the Q&A section or chat to answer.
Yeah, Yuri, actually a couple did come in. I'll just fire them off. First question, what large language models, LLM models are supported? And also, second question, can I bring my own key?
Yeah, great question. Basically, we do support plenty of models here. You can switch between different application providers and select different models for application from a different application provider. Currently, I'm using Anthropic Sonnet 4 model, which for us proves to be a good one. We also, with the platform, we supply basically a key for it, so you don't need to provide it. But if you want, you can bring up your own key, put it into the system, key into the system, and it will be basically charged on your behalf if you have industrial subscription, if you have a good token rate. So yeah, we do support almost all well-known code generation models.
Awesome. Okay. Couple more here. All right, next question. Can I upload a web app developed outside of Forge?
It's a good question. Yes, it's possible. I can show it later. When you start the new application, there is a choice of importing a repository, basically a folder that you might have in your local development. So if you are a developer, for example, uploading this application into the system, the reason it could be because the system allows you to deploy the app, right? To deploy the app into this Forge App Store. You can upload your own development. Again, or you can download an existing app, enhance it, and re-upload, or you can export it in this way, basically download, upload into another system. Okay. So awesome. Now we see that the generation phase finished, and we now have the application which is started in the sandbox. It brought up an error, and this happens all the time because the nature of generation is not predictable. Basically, it's so the application which is built may have some issues, right? I will show how we can resolve it. Basically, what I do here, I will just look what problem the model encounter it and where the issue could happen. So now it says that, for example, it's tried to call an API. And it received the Axios error, and it received the 500 from the API call. Okay, I'll try to just like the way usually it will be working with a non-experienced user. If user sees the error, user can do this: just copy this error and put it into the chat and ask model to fix it. I am getting error calling the API. Fix it. Okay, let's be polite. Please fix it. So again, now the model will analyze the code, will analyze the error, and will try to fix it to its best to resolve the issue. Meanwhile, we can answer maybe other questions while this generation is going.
Sure. Yes, we did have another one come in. Is this a self-hosted application or managed like SaaS?
The Forge platform is a SaaS platform. So basically we have the platform itself that runs on the Kubernetes cluster, and usually depending on the client, Brian probably will iterate on this later. Basically we can deploy it either in the cloud or on-premise, depending on the client exigencies. Usually industrial clients are very picky about the platform's deployment, and they want them to be on-premise just because of security, but it also can be running in a multi-tenant cloud environment. So let's see now the generation finished. Let's see if it resolved the issue. Oh yeah, it does resolve the issue. So now we have basically our asset, first asset level, the business group. We have two business group and assets, and I can click on basically on the refining enterprise group, and it shows me that this asset has one children, has two channels, and 10 alerts, right? If I click on alerts, it doesn't show me the alerts, but maybe again, like I have to improve it, the application too. Again, like because the model, as I mentioned, it not always generate the perfect app, but you can always improve it interactively and going through the chat. So now you can see here, I have the whole hierarchy tree on the right. I can see the equipment that is being set up for the system. I can see all the data of the equipment, and I can see the breadcrumbs here, basically to go and click to the proper equipment, and I see all the hierarchy tree. So for the simple visualization, this is exactly what I wanted, and now what I want to show how this can be deployed into a productized way. So again, like this is still running in a sandbox. I removed the chat, but chat is here, and this is as you see by link, it's a preview item. It's a sandbox environment here. So what I do, I click the deploy, and I give a name to the application. I can select an icon for it. Let's see, it's a refinery plant, so we do something related to the oil, and put a description, and then deploy it. So now what happens, the application is being built and being deployed to the environment. I will close this interface. I will return back to the front page of the our platform. And I look here, I see here that I have one deployed application before, and now this application is being deployed. It is built today. It's still being deployed. Let's give it a couple seconds. Usually it's not very long. So now the whole environment been built and set up into the Kubernetes cluster as a production like environment, like basically scalable and very secure. So now we have it deployed. I can open this application now as a full screen application. This is already a built application, no sandbox, no preview. I can look into this basically, again, like all this hierarchy works here. Nice, I'm satisfied with that. Now what I can do, I can share it with somebody, like give another person access. For example, I want to give Brian, my colleague, access to this application. So I just select him and add it to the access.